Another market that seemed to be making the rounds today is the cryptocurrencies. Now, Bitcoin has tumbled to 6-week low as top cryptocurrencies are all in a sell-off. What is this latest bearish Bitcoin all about, and why should it matter anyway?
Well, what's happening with the Bitcoin, right? You just mentioned it. It has been dropping, not really a crash, but certainly not anymore this boost that we have seen some weeks ago. Is the hype gone? Is this happening because also those cryptocurrencies futures in the United States are not performing that strong? Well, I guess it's a mix of many factors. Two main factors, that's what investors are telling me, because it seems to be the case that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency trading could be actually forbidden in some countries. Remember that South Korea last week, the Justice Minister of South Korea was making very strong comments against the cryptocurrency, saying that all kind of cryptocurrency trading could be forbidden in South Korea, also with this fear that North Korea could use cryptocurrencies kind of to work around those international sanctions. Now, China, also a country very big when it comes to cryptocurrency trading, at least so far. Those reports have not been confirmed, but there are reports that they might be blocking the access to foreign cryptocurrency markets. China has already in the past forbidden and restricted the access to so-called initial coin offerings, ICOs. With those ICO, companies are collecting money from investors, and those are normally receiving shares, but in the case with those ICOs, they are receiving so-called tokens in the cryptocurrency. China is now thinking also to extend this and also to forbid this cryptocurrency trading with international platforms at all. And this is really putting the cryptocurrency market under lots of pressure, with two countries maybe not even allowing this trading anymore, and that's the main reason why we are seeing the Bitcoin really struggling in these latest hours and days.
Well, let's talk earnings. Of course, it's the earnings season, and most markets are beginning to post their earnings. For instance, the U.S. Now, when is the Frankfurt Stock Exchange earnings season kicking off? What are we to expect from the frontliners, and will they rally the European markets?
Yeah, just to give you a little update first about the market, what we are seeing at the moment, because, yeah, you can see that the blue chip index DAX today is performing very strong. Let me actually have a quick look. We are up right now with 1%. And this is happening in the last days. We had this very strong euro. Today, the euro has been going just slightly down. And sometimes it's really interesting. That's really the psychology, of the market. I mean, now it's a little bit down. And at the same time, we see shares here at the blue chip index DAX going up again. We are right now just 200 points away from the all-time record of the blue chip index DAX that we saw here in November. So let's see how all of this is going to unfold. But yes, we are all waiting for the new quarterly season to start again. Not too many exciting things have happened here in the last weeks and months, so all investors will be keeping a very close eye when this new earnings season is going to kick off. It's going to start at the beginning of February, end of January, and yes, investors will be mostly looking at banks. How are they going to perform? What is Deutsche Bank reporting? What is Commerzbank reporting? What is Commerzbank also saying regarding to possible rumors that they might be taken over by another bank? Also, German carrier Lufthansa will be again on the focus of investors. How is the airline doing after Air Berlin now declared bankruptcy, and Lufthansa has been taking lots of the business from Air Berlin? So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Lots of very interesting stuff is ahead of us, Jimmy.
Right, Daniel, let's give a tab on those earnings when they come out. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of the day. In the U.S., the stock index futures were up sharply ahead of Tuesday's open following the long holiday weekend. On Monday, U.S. markets were closed for trade for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The Dow was set to open up nearly 250 points, topping the 26,000 milestone. U.S. stocks have been rallying on the back of a stronger U.S. economy, tax reform, and optimism heading into earnings season. Earnings and market news likely to impact sentiment during today's trade. Citigroup, United Health, Comerica, and CSX are some of the major companies posting results before the bell. In data, the latest Empire State Manufacturing Survey is set to report at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Elsewhere, cryptocurrencies were in focus as Bitcoin hit a 6-week low following reports indicating an escalated crackdown on the cryptocurrency market in China. Bitcoin sank below $12,000. And in Asia, most markets there closed higher today as the dollar nursed overnight losses. Greater China markets, which had slid in the last session, edged higher. Japan's Nikkei 225, which had hovered near the flat line early in the session, rose 1% as the dollar edged up against the yen. Across the Korean Strait, the Kospi erased early losses to close 0.72% higher. The Australian ASX 200 slipped 0.47% to end at 6,048.6 as the energy, utilities and telecommunication sectors led losses on the broader index. The Hang Seng Index bounced 1.46%, with the benchmark looking set to notch a record close. On the mainland, the Shanghai Composite edged up 0.79%. and the Shenzhen Composite rose 0.72% to finish at 1,927 points. And back here in Africa, Abroj Group, a firm focused on emerging markets, has hired Citigroup Incorporated and EFG Hermes Holding SAE to manage an initial public offering of its North African hospitals business. The private equity firm plans to list the business or find a buyer during the first half of the year. The business, which includes about a dozen hospitals and clinics in Egypt, Tunisia and Morocco, is worth as much as $500 million. No final decisions have been taken, and Abroj may opt to retain the business. Private equity investors are taking advantage of a surge in demand for healthcare products and services in Africa and the Middle East, where government funding for the sector has been inadequate. And Kenya has secured a $750 million syndicated loan for 7 years from the Trade Development Bank to pay off creditors in another 2-year syndicated loan that was extended last year. The government is also set to issue a $1.5 billion Eurobond for 10 years by the first week of March to take advantage of high demand for new issues. The finance minister said last November a 6-month extension of the syndicated facility had been agreed with 90% of investors. Funds raised from a new Eurobond issue could be used to pay off the outstanding amount. And South Africa's stock exchange has not received Eskom's interim results on time, and if they are not submitted by January 31, trading of the power utilities debt may be suspended. Cash-strapped Eskom, the sole power supplier in Africa's most industrialized economy, has struggled after a leadership crisis and has been at the heart of allegations of illegal contracts and undue influence in awarding tenders. The JSE said Eskom has until the end of the month to submit its results. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we talk oil as the commodity hits a 3-year high. To stay with us.